And everybody in our audience fucking hates her.
Yes.
I've never seen the comment section on this. It's not one,
I concur.
it's not two, it's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of comments. And I was just,
And we looked at those comments, and she is correct. They were all bad. And I thought it was quite funny. Hello, my name is Ashlee, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about Francesca Fiorentini on the I've Had It podcast, and I'm really excited to talk about this because we talked about a couple weeks ago Anna Kasparian going on the I've Had It podcast and how their community kind of was very upset and a little bit revolted about having Anna Kasparian and also Jank on their podcast. And Anna said some really crazy shit while she was on there. She said Tucker Carlson is not anti-Semitic. She said that she went to school and learned about fascism and knew what fascism was, and she just couldn't call Trump a fascist in the beginning, but she was wrong, even though he tried to steal the election and he was saying mass deportations now, all things that are very clear fascism that she obviously, I guess, just couldn't see until now, which is a lie. Anna was lying. But anyway, so they had Francesca on, and apparently she was already booked to come on, but they do talk about that for a little bit. So we're gonna watch that, we're gonna react to it and talk about it. I was gonna do a Tyler Oliveira video today, but we're not gonna do that because we're gonna do this because this happened and I want to talk about this. Anyway, yes, but before we get into it, please like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
I don't listen to podcasts. I don't watch design shows. Whatever my job is, I don't, when I'm off work, do those things. And I don't follow online personality drama. And I oftentimes don't read a lot of the comments because sometimes they're not super favorable. And I just think I'm going to keep doing this. So Kylie was like, yeah, a lot of people didn't like Jank and blah, blah, blah. I was like,
people get real mad in the comments. Some people say crazy stuff, and I usually leave it up. If it's about me, I usually leave it up because I'm just like, whatever, I don't really care what you have to say about me. But people are really bold in the comments sometimes.
Can't please everybody. Well, then we have Anna Kasparian on, and I went and looked at the comments, and everybody in our audience fucking hates her.
Yes.
I've never seen the comment section on this. It's not one, it's not two, it's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of comments. And I was just,
And we looked at those comments, and she is correct. They were all bad. And I thought it was quite funny. Now, I love the I've Had It ladies. Okay. I love them. I think they're great. I was not mad at them. I don't care. I love them. I think they're great. I just thought it was funny that all of the comments were so horrible, and it made me feel not better, but it made me feel good that people can see that Anna is lying and that she's trying to come back and get into everyone's good graces and essentially try to make us forget the last few years, and I really truly think that that's what she's trying to do. I think her and Jang both are trying to do this while still trying to be friends with the right wing. It's a very weird situation that they have found themselves in. That makes no sense because they're still talking. They had Nina Turner and Marjorie Taylor Greene on the other day, which I find interesting. I'm not completely understanding why they did that. But I love Nina Turner. I'm just confused as why she would talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know. I didn't see the video, so I don't know how contentious the conversation was or how it went. But to continue to talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene after she has no power, after saying you were talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene because she could help you stop a war, is, I think, shows you that this was never about stopping a war. The war is happening. She didn't stop shit. So it just doesn't, it never made any sense. It was never about actually making any progress. It was always just about whitewashing Marjorie Taylor Greene's reputation.
They're like, they didn't listen to us with Jank, and then they have on. So why does everybody hate these two people? And you used to work with them.
I did. And, don't really regret my time, but this kind of dovetails with what I've had it with. So maybe I can open with what I've had it with, and that'll explain sort of why I've had it with those two, and maybe some people in your audience have as well. So I've had it with centrists parading around as progressives. And these can be anyone from Gavin Newsom to Hakeem Jeffries to Nancy Pelosi, but also in the media, Bill Maher, Cenk Uygur, and Anna Kasparian. These are, in my opinion, opportunistic slugs who, whenever the chance arises, they will say the right things in order to basically break bread with the right, have them on their podcast, and offer up as, sort of a sacrifice portions of the so-called left that people think that they come from, whether that's trans people, whether that's people of color, whether that's immigrants, right? Whether that's unhoused people, all of the issues that I personally care about as someone who wants to see economic, social, racial justice in this country, they have no problem with. And they continually get pushed into this category of, oh, they're liberal. Oh, they're a left. Oh, they're a progressive. Gavin Newsom, as if we didn't see him sweeping up homeless encampments from these poor folks who don't have anywhere else to go. We don't see him vetoing on a, California-wide level harm reduction initiatives to actually help people prevent them from dying from ODing. And so Cenk and Anna.
And he's against taxing like the billionaire tax or whatever it is in California. He's against that, even though what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to make up for the healthcare cuts that Trump did in the big beautiful bill, and he's against it, and he doesn't want to have this tax for them. And so Gavin Newsom by no means is progressive or a leftist or anything, I don't even think he's on the left. Like, I just think we need to stop thinking about Gavin Newsom, and I think we need to stop seeing him as like an actual candidate, as a serious candidate, because he's not, and he shouldn't be considered one.
Are squarely in that centrist category, and they hate being called that because they've spent most of their careers railing against Nancy Pelosi, railing against even people like Gavin Newsom, although they're actually to the right of Newsom on a lot of things.
Yes, I'm glad. And I'm glad Francesca pointed this out, because that's what I meant earlier when I'm like, they're in this weird space where they're trying to make people forget their rightward turn, but then so they're trying to like get back their progressive bona fides, but then they're also still trying to like be with Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene and like all this other bullshit. And it's like, what are you if not a centrist? And that's why it's so weird, the situation that they found themselves in, because it's like, no, you are a centrist, and you've always gone against centrists and milquetoast centrists and Democrats and whatever, but like, you are that. And she's right, you're actually to the right of them. So what, your whole ideology is very confusing and doesn't make any sense. Because I don't think it's real, I don't think it's real. I think they're just like making it up as they go.
But they get heralded as these liberals, and they're everything but. These are people who want to, again, have a beer with Charlie Kirk, RIP. They want to, they literally will say that, the left has gone crazy. They're out of their minds. And because they're good on one issue or maybe two issues, everyone gives them a pass, and they still kind of get to go through the world as if they haven't said incredibly problematic and hurtful things. In the example of Anna, as you mentioned, of course your audience was pissed because which is ironic, she spent so much time saying culture wars are really a distraction from the main war against the 1%. It's like, totally. And yet, for the past 5 years, she's been on a slow decline into there should be limits on where trans people get to exist, right? She's again.
Yep, and you could see Jennifer's face. She kind of winced at that. I don't think she knew that, but Anna has been extremely transphobic, like incredibly transphobic. That's kind of how she started this rightward turn. Someone called her a birthing person, and she like lost her shit for no goddamn reason, and then just started going after people on the left who were supposedly her friends and her colleagues, like Francesca, for telling her or she was being transphobic and maybe she needs to like do some self-reflection. But no, instead she went after everyone, burned all her bridges, and now everyone hates her because they see her for who she is, a grifter and honestly a mean girl. She seems like a mean girl. She seems like one of those like popular mean girls in school. Like that's how Anna comes off to me.
Against trans athletes, which is like cool. You're against 5 people.
Yeah.
Fun. Real popular position there. And she's, lately talked about and really lied about things like trans people in dressing rooms, right? Trans people in locker rooms, that actually there was a man in a locker room once, and all of these things that actually really are. And Jen, you know this, just straight up right-wing Proud Boys, reactionary, psychotic, extremist shit to say.
Yes.
Because again, this is a permission structure to dehumanize people. And so it's trans people one day, it's immigrants the next day, it's unhoused people, it's people of color, it's women. It doesn't matter. This is what we call solidarity.
Yeah.
And we don't throw anyone under the bus. If you're a real leftist, if you're a real progressive, they sadly have.
Trans people don't want to be spoken about. They're sick of it. They want to exist. They want to live. This is a huge problem with, this is a huge problem right now in politics when people have pick me syndrome. Where they want to have the straddle of trying to find which way the wind is blowing. And I see this with Gavin Newsom. And when he sat down with Charlie Kirk,
I'm really glad that they had Francesca on, and I'm really glad that, they became aware of like Anna and Jang. Now listen, again, it is a lot of online drama, but I do think that something that Jen mentioned that is really, which is why I like to cover it and I want to cover it and I do cover it, because I do think it's important to point out that a lot of liberals or like centrists who think they're progressive or think they're on the left, who are seen as these like left figures, are actually trafficking in a lot of right-wing talking points. And it gets, and for some reason, there's like a blue no matter who, blue MAGA crowd who thinks that they're the only good candidates. And they're not, and Gavin Newsom is not, and he's a horrible candidate, and he should not be president or run, or I just don't want anything to do with him. But I think it's important to point out that there are people who say they're on the left, who call themselves leftists or progressives or whatever, or liberals or what have you, that are really just they're really just on the right. They're really just right wingers, and they're trying to have some sort of like Jen said, some pick me syndrome, some like straddling the line to see what's popular, to see where the thing goes, instead of having actual conviction, instead of having morals and something that you believe in. Instead, you are just trying to figure out what is the popular sentiment right now and going with that, and then calling it either right or left depending on your audience, and not actually talking about what you believe in or really the truth. They've lied multiple times on TYT about multiple different news stories. Like Francesca said, they've also lied about immigration stories. They've lied about, all these like gang stories and stuff. Like they've lied about so much. That was the video today. Please like and subscribe and tell me what you think below. And yes, I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.